Shabbat Shalom. This is Torah in 2 minutes-ish. It is a Shabbat where we go from December 31st to January 1st, or from the 20th of Tevet to the 20th of Tevet. But anytime we reach the end of the calendar year and we take a moment to look back at where we were a year ago, what we were thinking, and what's happened since. And obviously, a year ago, the mass distribution of vaccines were on the horizon. It was a time when it was easy to be optimistic, at least for me, that the worst parts of the pandemic were over. Of course, it's been a hard year. And of course, things haven't always turned out the way we wanted. And there's been ups and downs and downs and ups and downs. Which brings us to the Torah portion this week. This Shabbat we read Parshat Vayera, which often isn't one of my favorite Torah portions because it's mainly half a dozen times Moshe going to Pharaoh and saying, "Let my people go so they may serve God in the wilderness." And Pharaoh saying no. And this is on top of at the end of last week's Parsha. Moshe says, "Let my people go so they may serve God in the wilderness." And Pharaoh says no, and even for asking, I'm going to increase their labors, meaning that just when you try to make things better, I'm going to make them worse. And part of what comes out of this whole sequence is a sense of the necessity of persistence, that even in hard times, even when things are difficult, even when there's a promise that things are going to be better in a short amount of time, and that promise doesn't happen, even when you're looking forward to something and it gets pushed off further and further, you're supposed to still have the strength, find the strength to persist, even though it's difficult. That is the master story of our people. No matter what, even in setbacks, even when what we hope to happen doesn't happen, we still persist. We look for this strength. We look to each other for this strength. We look to the tradition for this strength because that's part of what we're going to need, and it's part of what we always need. So, as the calendar turns, the Torah portion really reflects part of what we have to use to guide us. It's not just about some sort of abstract history lesson from thousands of years ago. It's about finding something within ourselves for today and for the year ahead. Have a good new year, and Shabbat Shalom.